What's up, guys? It is Gray, aka the Cog Gray, and we got a chapter today of My Hero. I apologize. I'm like super tired. I had an early day today, and I have an early day tomorrow. So if I'm like a little loopy, that's why. A couple things before we get into it. One, next week is gonna be Ruby coming back, so you know. You definitely want to be subbed for that, right? Because I'm going to have so many opinions. And, yeah, and the next... Don't be surprised if in, like, the next... Like, some point during this year, I might have to stop uploading. These videos don't take too long, but, like, I may be working, like, twice as much because my degree requires an internship, and that would just be working basically another job. And I already work a little over part-time, so we'll see, but just forewarning. Anyway, we got a chapter, kind of weird chapter thrown in here. Gonna be honest, it's a good chapter, and it definitely gives some insight to Hawks, as you read the title. It's about Hawks' backstory. Just a weird time for it. We didn't, like last chapter, we didn't get any lead up into Hawks at all. And we don't know when this is supposed to be taking place, really. I'll talk about that later, but it is a good chapter. Just a little strange with the timeline and why it's here. But it's cool. Let's get into it. So basically, Hawks is talking. He's like, I saw heroes on TV. They didn't really exist because my life... Well, he doesn't say this, but he kind of had a bad life. He was, you know, My Hero Academia and Bad Dads goes together hand in hand, so... his dad was a criminal, if you don't remember that little tidbit. And he basically comes home, he's like, you snuck into town, blah, 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 you can't do that, like, they're gonna rat on me. And then he was like, my feathers were tingly. His dad's a jerk. His mom was, like, out of it, it looks like, for most of it. She's like, the TV doesn't work. Hawk just, like, goes in a corner, and he, like, kicks him over. Also, her quirk is floating eyes, and his dad's quirk is feather. Do we see that at all in this? Let's see what's going on with his dad. Doesn't look like it. No, it would not. I don't remember his dad's quirk, but it doesn't look like wings. And if it is, I didn't see it. But his mom's quirk is floating eyes, so we can assume that's where he got the manipulation of the feathers from. I thought his dad's quirk was wings, but I don't see them. So. Either way, he just like yells at him. He has a very sad life. He's like, I knew my parents were broken on the inside. He has a little cute Endeavor toy. And then he comes in and his mom's like, your dad got arrested. He stole a car and got lost. He got caught by Endeavor. And you have a really cool panel of like his toy Endeavor coming to life, because to him it symbolizes that heroes are real, they exist, and they apprehended his dad, which to him was a good thing because he didn't like his dad was a jerk. So the delicious irony of Endeavor, it like even inadvertently helping someone with their abusive dad, delicious. That irony is so thick, I would need a sharp knife to cut through it. Not a butter knife, a sharp knife. And then his mom kind of like lost it a little bit. She's like, we gotta run away. You're like, you're just a dumb kid. What are you gonna do? She asks, why do you even have those wings? And he's holding a little Endeavor. It's very cute, but also very sad at the same time. The hero agency, they talk to her. He's like, we'll compensate you. And then any connection to the name Takami and allow you to start over. So basically, the hero organization took Hawks and trained him, gave him a completely new name, in exchange for her being like well off in life. And as we learn later, she is. And then we cut to Best Jeanist in his Batmobile? His like denim mobile, I guess. I really hope in the show this is like made out of jeans. That'd be so funny. Oh, Hawks is taking a nap. Hawks doesn't look great. He does not look great, but he's okay. He's like, thanks to the miracles of medicine, we were able to help you. And then they explain the fake body thing. So this answered a lot of questions. Well, not a lot, but I guess a lot. It answers the questions that people have had ever since the Jeanist body thing was introduced. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know how much I like this explanation. It's a little goofy, like a little like if compared to how realistic and well thought out everything is. This one doesn't make as much sense to me because they're basically like, yeah, at the time. Oh, we're getting into it. So basically, do they explain it all the way? Da, 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 da. No, no, they do it over here. He's like, yeah, I was put in a death-like state, and because that way they could check and make sure the body was real, and he does. It really was because it really was Genist. He was just fake dead, essentially. He was under like a powerful anesthetic that made his body basically dead. And Dobby just stored the body, and Hawks woke him up when they needed him. I just feel like that plan could have gone really wrong. Like if Dobby was like, "Oh, you brought Genis's body, sweet, let's burn it." Like what was he gonna do? I don't know. It's just a little weird to me. It's fine, really, but I definitely like a part of me is like, feel like they could have done just a tiny bit better. Either way, the Genis has to pull over because there's some villains doing some villain stuff. He's like, blah, 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 fiber on. Then Genis catches him all with his car, with his Batmobile. Fibers come out of it, and they're like, thanks for saving my life. And he looks sweet because he's Genis. And they're like, hey, we're the heroes. And like, the cops are busy, and a lot of the heroes that were here bailed. They quit. And he's like, we'll get some sidekicks. We see some people either... I don't know if this guy was a hero or he was a villain. I can't tell. It almost looks like he was a hero that was going to help if like it got any worse, but he knew that he didn't want to. It doesn't really matter, but just interesting. And then we see Genist, who is, by the way, I think popularity #1 out of like liked at least, or at least top 3. Literally the top 3 biggest heroes in Japan. We have half the crowd being into it, and then you can kind of, as you can see, because they're colored differently, half the crowd being skeptical and like, I don't know how to feel about heroes, because obviously what they just saw, cities got blown over, Dobby made a speech about the #1 hero. Like, I really hope that we get to see all this impact of hero society. We already have, because as we see, some heroes quit because they're like, we can't do this anymore, and a lot of people are upset. But like, I just want this to really have, I really like how so far we've gotten real people already being like, I don't know anymore, like heroes, I'm kind of sus. And then Hawks goes to a house, which is his, we learn is his mother's, which is a really nice place, by the way. It's like as you can see, like this place is tricked out. I need to make myself bigger before I get bonked. Before I get bonked by the YouTube police. I'd make my channel really easy to not deal with, because I'd cease to exist. No, I wouldn't. The channel would. I'd be fine. I'd be annoyed, but I'd be fine. And just like how she fled, he's like, no, Dobby sent some thugs and followed her this far. And then Genist is like, that's painful, man. Like a pair of too tight skinny jeans. What does that even mean? I love Best Genist. He's really funny. I'm like, I didn't know how to feel about him before, but like this arc, I'm like, he's going up there. I really like Genist. He's like, erasing Tamaki already severed any ties between us. He wants to help people. Actually, relief. The Safety Commission was shut down because of the recent attack, I assume. There's no one to issue orders. Oops. I'm free of my shackles. And he talks. And it shows that sometimes she would take them out of town. And they couldn't afford a lot, but since All Might was really expensive, this is another great joke. The Endeavor dolls were cheap, cheaper, so that's why he got the Endeavor doll, because All Might was too expensive. That's really funny. He also goes to talk about how when people are backed into a corner, they show their true nature, which is why he regrets having to kill Twice, because he learned that Twice just wanted to help people, but he just chose the wrong people to help. And he was like, it was a bummer, but he had to do it. And then it shows another backstory of when he went to town, he actually saved a bunch of people. His quirk was already crazy, with his feathers, and just the cutest. I use it for the thumbnail. I love this panel so much of like him hugging his little toy. I love this so much. It's so adorable. And he's like, even if what Dobby says is true, I know things are different now. And Genius is like, what are you going to do? And he's like, there's a lot for me to clean up, starting with my origin, so to speak. Endeavor's in trouble. Well, because Endeavor, like, inspired him. So, Endeavor is going to get helped by Hawks. Hawks is going to be trying to help Endeavor with probably the absolute nonsense that's going to come in the next couple days. Endeavor's still passed out in the hospital last time we saw. As I said, the timeline's a little funky. Because they talk about the hospital stuff. So, like, is this like a back in time from the last chapter we saw? We don't really know. I don't think it matters, really. But it's just a little weird that this came now. Either way, next chapter, February 7th, I'm stoked. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to get. I assume we'll go back to the hospital. I would love to see a little bit of villain stuff. I still want to see what Toga is up to. Because she's still out and about. I kind of want to know where they're keeping Mr. Compress and Gigantomachia since Tartarus was... There's like still so much. You know what I mean? Like, I'm glad that we got Hawk's backstory, but there's stuff going on in the timeline in the present that I want to know. Now, if we got like... I think for some reason people are talking about Spinner's backstory. I'd be down for that. I love Spinner. But like still, there's stuff that I want to know is happening at the current moment in time. More desperately than I... Like, there's Todoroki's family stuff. Shigaraki, is he like taking a nap? Is Deku in the Vestige world? Well, I'm positive he is, but like, are we going to see it? Bakugo, the other students at Class A, we're still missed like half the class of Class A. So, like, what are they up to? Just like, so much. Either way, solid chapter. I think this one a 7 out of 10. Just kind of like, Hawks had a tragic backstory, but it wasn't. Nothing particularly new here. I like young Hawks. I like Hawks. He's a really cool character. I like Janus. Just stuff more pressing to me at the current moment than this as of right now. Oh, another note. It looks like Hawk's wings are growing back. So he is indeed not out of commission forever, as people were worried about, which is good. I think it would have been a little harsh if Hawks was permanently KO'd. They're going to need all the heroes they can get, I think, for sure. So... I'm glad the Hawk's coming back. Plus, he's like young. He's near like 24 or something. Hawks is really young. Yeah. So that about does it for me. Once again, cool chapter. Next week is Ruby, so you betcha I'm going to make a video on that at some point. I will definitely make a video on it. I'll try and shoot for Saturday next week, so look out for that. And yeah, otherwise, that's it for me. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Peace.